There's one on your lawn. You're watching it through the gap in the curtain, close enough to see that it used to be someone you'd recognize. It hasn't found you yet, but it will. They always do. They don't get tired, they don't get bored, and they don't stop. There are 3 of them on the street behind it. Yesterday, there was 1. Tomorrow, there will be more, and the day after that, more again. And the only question that matters, the only one, is how many days you have before you have to open that door. So let's actually do this. Not the movie version, the arithmetic. Day 1. You're inside and you're doing the math wrong. Because the first thing everyone gets wrong is thinking the danger is speed. It isn't. Watch the one on the lawn for an hour and you'll see something worse than speed. It doesn't scan, it doesn't lose interest. It doesn't wander off to look at something shiny. It stands there, facing the sound it last heard, and it waits. For hours. It has nothing else to do, and it never will. You could beat that thing in a fight. One-on-one, daylight with a bat, you win. You almost certainly win. But it doesn't sleep, you do. It doesn't need water, you do. It has no heart rate to spike, no cortisol crash at 3 a.m., no moment where it sits down and puts its head in its hands. Every advantage you have is a burst advantage. You are fast for 90 seconds. You are strong for 1 fight. And it is coming for the rest of your life. Our ancestors killed antelope this exact way. Not with speed, with persistence. You jog after it for 6 hours, it overheats, it collapses, and you walk up and finish it. That was our superpower for 2 million years. Now, you're the antelope. Day 3. You learn what actually pulls them. Everything you need to do to stay alive makes sound. A can opening, a cough, a door, a generator, a car. And a car is the loudest thing you will ever do, broadcasting your exact position in every direction for a mile. In a world with no engines, no traffic, no aircraft, no hum, human beings are the only source of noise left on Earth. And you are made of noise. So the horde isn't a wave, it's a funnel. It doesn't sweep the map. It collects slowly, patiently, around whatever is still making sound, around you. The house across the road is silent, and nothing is standing outside it. There are now 6 outside yours. Day 4. The taps go dry, and you have to leave. Not because of them, because of plumbing. Your water isn't sitting in your house, it's being pushed there through pumps, run by a grid, maintained by people who are currently in the exact same room you're in, watching their own curtains. When those people stop showing up, the pressure drops, and the taps in a major city go dry in 1 to 3 days. You need 3 liters a day. Below that, your judgment measurably degrades. You will make bad calls before you even feel thirsty. And you are in a situation where 1 bad call is the last one. So you open the door, you've had a plan for this moment for years, and here's the part of it that was a fantasy. You thought you'd be running. You won't be running. You'll be standing still for 11 minutes in a stranger's driveway, while one of them stands 20 feet away facing a wind chime. Because if you move, it turns, and if it turns, it makes a sound, and the sound is what brings the other 5. That's what the apocalypse actually is. Not a chase, a held breath. And this is where I need you to sit with something, because it is the whole video. Now here's the part nobody talks about. The thing on your lawn is dying, right now, faster than you are, because a corpse isn't a machine. It's a body with no immune system, no circulation, no repair, and it started rotting the second it stood up. Soft tissue degrades, tendons dry and shorten, which is why they move the way they move. Muscle liquefies. The bacteria inside that body do not care that it's walking. They have been eating it since day 1. Leave one outside through a summer, and by autumn it's slow. Leave it through a winter, and it's a shape in a field that twitches. They are not an invasion, they are a season. And that changes everything because it means the dead were never the thing that was going to kill you. They were the thing that was going to keep you inside. While everything that actually kills you did its work. Day 9. You cut your hand. Not in a fight, on a window frame, in a house that isn't yours, reaching for a bottle on a high shelf. It's 4 centimeters and it doesn't even hurt much. And there is no hospital, no antibiotic, no version of this where that cut simply heals. Before antibiotics, a deep hand wound was a serious event. Sepsis killed people from nothing. A scratch, a blister, a bad tooth. 6 outside the door, and the thing that is going to kill you is already inside your hand. Day 20. The water you found is making people sick. Every collapse in recorded history, every siege, every famine, every camp has the same top killer, and it isn't the enemy. It's a stomach. Dysentery empties a body in days, and it needs nothing but a bad bottle and a warm afternoon. Day 40. It gets cold. No grid, no heat. A wet human loses body heat up to 25 times faster than a dry one. And you are wet because you move, because you scavenge, because it rains. Hypothermia doesn't need snow. It needs 10 degrees, a wind, and one bad night in a house with no door, and roughly 1 in 10 adults is on medication they've now run out of. Insulin, inhalers, blood pressure. That's not an apocalypse statistic. That's your neighbor. And then, at the very end of the list, the one everyone puts first. Other people. Not raiders in leather. A man across the street with a family that hasn't eaten, watching the only house on the road with the curtains still closed. Curtains closed means someone was careful. Someone careful means someone has supplies. You spent years learning to be invisible to the dead. You never once considered that being competent makes you visible to the living. So what actually happens if you try to survive a zombie apocalypse? You beat the thing on the lawn and lose to a tap. You beat the horde and lose to a cut on your thumb. You survive the winter and lose to a stranger who was, 6 weeks ago, a delivery driver with a mortgage. You win the fight you rehearsed 1,000 times, and you're killed by the one you never imagined because it was too boring to be worth imagining. And here's the truth underneath all of it. The zombie was never the danger. The zombie was the excuse. It's the thing we invented so that collapse could have a face. So it could be something you fight instead of something that just quietly stops arriving. Because the real version has no villain. The real version is a pump that stops, a pharmacy that empties, a father across the street who is not evil. That's not a story anyone can win, so we built one where you can. So you're at the curtain, there's still one on the lawn, 6 behind it now, and the plan is still in your head, fully formed, sharp, ready. The door opens on day 4. Not because you're brave, not because you chose to, because you're thirsty. If you got this far, you're the kind of person this channel is for. Subscribe. See you in the next one.